Sunset Overdrive is an action-adventure shooter video game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Microsoft Studios. Released worldwide for Xbox One in October 2014 and for PC in November 2018. The game is set in 2027 in a fictional metropolis called Sunset City. The player controls an employee of Fisco who has to fight off the OD, that's short for overcharge drinkers. Those are humans who have turned into mutants after drinking Fisco's energy drink, better known as Overcharge. Imagine a full Raccoon City scenario, but instead of Umbrella, it's Fisco. It's the corporation trying to hide the whole accident. I played Sunset Overdrive back on the Xbox One when it was given away for free one summer, and I recently picked it up in the Steam Winter Sale 2019. Couple of hours in, I instantly remember why I absolutely love this game so much, and playing it again motivated me to do this particular video. Now, when I was analyzing everything carefully, I stopped and said to myself, wait a minute, there is no other game like Sunset Overdrive. Sure, Insomniac made Spider-Man for PS4 and it clearly feels that it was made by them, you know, the movement, the characters, the dialogue, everything, but Sunset is different. There are no new goofy games with fourth wall breaking moments and actual fun jokes. Most games go for comedy, but I think they fail miserably. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, I'm not a person who really enjoys comedy, but Sunset Overdrive has managed to make me laugh a couple of times, and I just think that's weird and awesome. And well, today I'm here to talk to you about Sunset Overdrive, a very unique product and one of those games that are not being made anymore. There will be no spoilers in this video, and I'm diving into these categories: creativity, unique characteristics, humor and dialogue, and finally, a short conclusion. In the creativity section, I have a few bullet points written down in my notebook, and one thing I wanted to mention, the elephant in the room, is the gameplay. I think the gameplay in Sunset Overdrive is pretty amazing, pretty impressive, pretty fun. I think it's a gameplay that has aged very well. The grinding mechanic and just moving through the city, you know, jumping around, doing parkour and all this sorts of really fun and wacky movement is just really unique and just really great. I think what Insomniac made with the gameplay is just really impressive. Like, I think it has aged very well. I was just moving and grinding through the city, and I think it feels really dynamic and fun just to do it. And well, the gameplay is something that you have to get right in a video game. You have to compensate it. For example, if you're doing a game and the game doesn't have very good story, it has to have really good gameplay. And if it doesn't have any really good gameplay, it has to have a really good story and dialogue. And the gameplay in Sunset is just that stunning. It's really fluid, it's really intuitive, and overall fun. This leads me, of course, to the weapons in the game. I think the weapons are amazing. I really appreciate the time and effort that was put into them. I think each and every single one of them feels different and feels fun to use, feels unique. The model is unique, the animations are unique, the effect, what the weapon does is really unique, and how it works, how you use it, how you can pair it with other weapons. Everything is just really fun, and I think it helps a bit also that all of the weapons have custom names and they work differently, and you can apply amps so you can really modify the weapon further. But the fact that the weapon has like a unique model and unique textures and like graffiti and bits and pieces of customization here and there, I think it makes it really fun to look at and to use. For example, there's a weapon called Dirty Harry, which is a revolver, which is of course a reference to the Dirty Harry film starring Clint Eastwood, and if you've seen that movie, it has just a really large 44 Magnum, and it feels really fun to use in the game because the character holds it with one hand, just like Harry Callahan in the movie, and I think it's amazing. Or for example, there's another weapon called the Dude, which fires bowling balls, which is of course a reference to the Big Lebowski, and I think it's just really fun, you know, the little touches and the weapons. I think it's really amazing. What I also like is that there's something for everyone. I've been using like a cheap version of an AK-47 with some strange blue camo, but I like it because it's simply an automatic assault rifle. Like, I have my explosive and and other weapons, but I keep my AK around because it just feels fun to use and it feels like something I enjoy using. There's something for everyone. If you're not into explosive, goofy weapons that shoot flaming teddy bears, there's your classic AK. If you're not into acid sprinklers, there's your classic 44 Magnum. If you're not into freezing guns, there's your classic riot shotgun. There's something for everyone. On a smaller note, I also really enjoy the character customization. It's nothing like special or mind-blowing, but I do really like it because it allows you to create a unique character, a character that's going to appeal to you, because you're creating it. Of course, with the context that the character has a punk young adult in their 20s or something attitude, because a lot of the clothing is very street-like or punk styled. But regardless of that, I was able to create the character I wanted with the things that I was given, and I really enjoy looking at my characters in the cutscenes and just around the city. And the game allowing you to customize your character instead of using like a generic and boring already designed one. I think it's just a really cool addition, and it's one of those games that I really like character customization, because other games like, for example, The Division or Ghost Recon allows you to customize your character, but it's like something very minimal and something that goes over your head because it's not special or interesting at all. And I think here it is very remarkable. On my next point, we have unique characteristics, and I'm going to start with the aesthetic and the music. I think Sunset really captures the rock and roll and punk rock spirit and the whole aesthetic of it. It gives me this 1970s punk rock vibe, and I think it's pretty unique, but I also think it presents a problem for some people. I think the aesthetic of Sunset Overdrive in conjunction with the music, it's a hit or miss. Sunset Overdrive is an explosive combination of pop culture, rock and roll, and overall is a multicultural fashion thing going on, because in the game they mix a lot of Japanese fashion and Japanese items, but also very traditional punk American and British style pieces of clothing. So like I said, it's like an explosive combination. Also the city and everything is just so saturated with color. Everything is so vibrant and alive. The city is filled with very unique graffitis, and everything is just filled with art. Music plays very well in the aesthetic, and every single one of the characters feels really unique. Every single character is wearing either an accessory or a type of clothing that simply makes them unique. Take for example the stereotypical nerds called the Oxfords in the game. They're wearing classic school uniforms, but they're wearing bits and pieces here and there that really makes them stand out. For example, there's a girl wearing a cowboy hat, or in the troops there are a lot of characters wearing bits and pieces here and there of samurai armor mixed with like boy and girl scout clothing, so it makes them really stand out. Even the character even the leader of the Oxfords, Sam, even he stands out because he's wearing, I guess, the normal type of clothing if you compare it to your character and to other people. For example, also Walter stands out because he's like wearing normal stuff, and those are some of the characters that will be wearing quote unquote normal clothing or more toned down. Everyone else and everything else is just simply booming with personality. I mean everything, side characters, minor characters, locations, buildings, everything is just filled with love and personal touches, and I think it's really cool. I've also said that the music works really well with the aesthetic, and that is of course because they're going for a punk rock, grungy feeling. But there are not many games that incorporate rock and roll or punk rock very well in their soundtracks. For example, Tony Hawk and Burnout are really good examples, but name a few iconic games that incorporate rock and roll and metal. More recently, Killing Floor incorporates heavy metal really well into the gameplay, but I think Sunset just does it really well. Custom tracks start playing in single scenarios, and I think when there's a change of music, it really feels. For example, when you're fighting a giant robot boss, electronic music starts playing, and there's also some dubstep in the game, and there's also really sad and melodic guitars when something really bad happens. And when you meet Las Catrinas, there's also like very acoustic, fast Mexican styled music, and I think it's really fun. You know, the changes in tone are really amazing because punk rock is mostly what you hear through the entirety of the game, but these bits and pieces with different music are they really stand out. And like I said, it just really works with the aesthetic, everything. It's a whole package. It's a really good looking package. And well, because this is the unique characteristics section, I want to mention a couple of things, and those are fast travel animations and dying animations. And this is just something that I really appreciate, because this was extra time put into Sunset Overdrive, because Insomniac could have just make a black screen, game over, and then you respawn, right? But they took the time to not put you out of the gameplay. They just have a fun little dying animation and fast travel animation, so you don't really go out of the action, right? You're still in the heat of the action. And yeah, just a little touch, but I think it's really unique of Sunset, and it's just appreciated. Humor and the dialogue. I think I'm a very nitpicky person when it comes to the dialogue. I think it's a very important thing in a game. And a lot of the games simply don't work for me because of the dialogue. But I think in Sunset Overdrive it works well because, like I said, the game doesn't take itself too seriously. The game knows it's joking, and I really like it because the game is also aware when it's making bad jokes and when it's making good jokes. For example, when a good joke is being delivered, nothing happens. It's just being delivered like a good joke. And I have to say most of the time they're good. But there are also a lot of bad jokes in the game. Like I said, once again, the game knows it's a bad joke because, for example, the character makes a bad joke or a silly comment or a very weird pop culture reference, and like some of the characters react either with facial animations or with dialogue itself, and they let you know that that was really wacky and goofy, and it just makes it fun. Also, nothing is too complicated, but also the game takes the atmosphere a bit serious despite being not so serious. The game lets you know that you are in an abandoned city controlled by a company, and that it was a catastrophe and everything went wrong, but regarding everything that's happened, try at least to have some fun while you try to save the city, you know? On a side note, the game knows it's a video game. Like, they make really fun jokes about it, like this one.
Technology.
Let's not complicate things by poking holes in the way we deliver the story, okay?
Oh, okay then. I'm gonna go back to the base and be magically gone by the time you have control.
Fine by me. That's not weird at all.
Or this one.
That's Dirk. His mom is an award-winning physicist and his dad is an astronaut. He's really good with aerodynamics.
Aerodynamics? How convenient.
He's also a health nut. He only drinks like the most expensive water on the planet.
Bora Bora water.
The humor may work for you, it may not, it entirely depends. Another feature that I really like is that the main character is amazing. Like, the main character is fun as hell. I think it's funny and interesting to hear like all of the comments and everything the main character has to say.
Not Fizco. I'm just here to steal computer parts from him.
How'd you think you were gonna do that when I got this here gun?
Yeah, I got guns too.
Damn! But how do I know you can use them?
I'm an American.
I can use a cocky son of a bitch like you. Looks good on camera. I need footage for my new show. Get out there and show me what you can
But
do.
especially the female main character, like the female voice actress, Stephanie Lemelin, sorry for butchering your name, I think she did an amazing job. She really embodies and captures this early 20s young adult attitude, and I think it's really fun. And finally, the cast. I think the cast of characters is really varied, it's really unique, and it's really fun. Most of the characters you meet in the game are like I said, unique. They're a bit stereotypical. I'm not gonna lie. They're a bit stereotypical and a bit over the top, but some of the characters you meet are really interesting, I suppose. Just a minor nitpick. I try to stay away from negative stuff in this video because I've been really enjoying the game, and I don't want to talk crap about it, right? There are many gaming websites that will talk crap about Sunset Overdrive that I've seen a few very terrible articles, but I'll leave that to them. I want to stay away from the negative stuff, but I do want to mention something, and that's the character of Floyd. He's one of the very first characters you meet in the game. He is Walter's partner. Now, I'm not sure if they mean partners as in they're in a relationship or they're just simply friends, but the nitpick goes here. There's a special mission, there's a particular story mission that I'm not gonna spoil for you, but something happens between the two of them. And for example, Floyd acts like a normal human being, like how someone would act, like for a couple of seconds. Then he brushes off. Like, Walter's supposed to be this very special character for Floyd. They're supposed to have a connection. Like I said, if they're in a relationship, they're supposed to have a really strong connection. If they're just friends, they should have a connection regardless, like I said. And I know Floyd is one of the most laid back characters in the entire game, but I don't know, I just really think that that interaction between those two was managed poorly. Other than that, I think the rest of the game, the rest of the characters are well delivered. So to conclude this video analysis thingy, I don't want to make this like a review. I guess it's a bit of a review, but I think I should have touched more in-depth things if this was a review, which is, I think, not just an analysis video. But to get it out of the way, I think Sunset Overdrive is a really fun game. Not like a 10 out of 10 game because it has a lot of problems, but no game is perfect. But I think Sunset Overdrive is just one of those fun games to play. One of those funds that you can pick up very cheap. I think it's very cheap right now on the Steam sale, and I think you can get it on the Xbox Game Pass or on the Xbox, I think fairly cheap as well. So I'd say just give it a try if you're into this kind of humor, if you're into this kind of aesthetic, because if you don't like it, then don't even try it. Like I said, for example, if you can't stand anime and J-pop visuals and music, don't even try to play Persona. And it's the same thing here. If you're not into the aesthetic or the music, just don't play it. I don't think you will enjoy it as much. But if you can get past that, if you can really just don't take the game seriously, just have fun, I think you should give it a try. It's one of those games that you can experience at least once. You cannot play it again, and that'll be fine, you know. But I think this is one of those games that at least you can experience once, and it's a fun little game, you know, to play in the holidays, for example, when you have some free time and you don't want to think about work or school, or you don't want to consider your life choices with very deep and meaningful games. It's just something to pass the time, and it's something to have fun. But I also want to appreciate that Sunset Overdrive exists because it's one of those very unique games out there, a unique game that is not being made anymore. It's a fun title, an interesting experience, and something you can just play to kill some time. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion and my little analysis on Sunset Overdrive. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, just leave a like, and let's have a conversation in the comment section below. I'm DeadFox, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
That's Ignatius?
Do you swear fealty?
Yeah, by all the gods and trees and wizards and stuff. Is my quinceañera over now?